Hello, and welcome to the first Mando Night Live. I have a intro that I am just gonna roll really quick. Okay, and welcome to our very first Mando Night Live. I'm Candace from the Geeky Waffle, and we're just gonna go around and introduce ourselves. So, Maggie.
Hello, I am Maggie from Let's Talk About Star Wars on YouTube.
I'm Bree from the Geeky Waffle.
I'm Arzu from many places, but for tonight, from the Geeky Waffle.
Lauren from the Galactic Podcast.
I'm Katie from the Star Wars Alliance podcast.
I'm Connor from the Nerd Academy podcast, specifically the Star Wars segment of it called Knights of the Nerd Republic.
Love it.
So we're all just nerds.
Yes.
And geeks.
Yeah, basically.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Basically.
Okay, so, oh gosh, where did it begin with Chapter 9, The Marshal? So we pretty much open up at the scenes that we saw in all the trailers. Pretty much that's what I was thinking. I was like,
Yeah.
this is all the trailers were.
It's like pretty much most of the trailer. I think the only things we didn't see yet are Din in the sewer, the scout troopers on, I'm guessing, Navarro, Cara Dune and Grief Karga on Navarro, and the ship and the water ship
scene,
with
yeah.
the Mon Cala.
The ice
Form.
planet.
Oh,
Other
yeah, the
than
ice
that-
planet. And when
Could
the
be
Razor Crest
Ellen?
is damaged.
Yeah, yes, that too. Other than that, pretty much the all we got in the trailer was in the first episode.
Which I respect. Which makes me think that the second episode is going to have
Yep.
the rest of the trailer in it.
Yep. If not more, if not most of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love that Mando just takes Baby Yoda, like there's a bouncer, and the Twi'lek, he sees the baby in its little like a stroller, and he's like, "Yeah, come in." I'm like, "Oh, no age limit, I guess."
Maybe he's like, oh, it's 50 years old, obviously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
They know.
Totally.
look at Baby Yoda. He's just like
Aw.
he's looking at the fighting. I put on Twitter, I was like, "Is anyone else concerned about like the amount of violence this little guy sees?"
Yeah, he's gonna be
I mean,
like
he's 50.
He's
Yeah.
50, yeah.
he's gonna grow up to be like, we're gonna see him as a teenager and an adult, and he's just gonna be super desensitized to all of it.
Oh yeah.
Like,
That's
oh yeah, my
true.
dad raised me on violence.
Well, I do like that when he noticed the Mandalorian's like light up thing, and he was just like, "Oh, let me dip and like cover myself."
That's that's so adorable. I love that moment so much.
It's like,
Even though we saw it in the trailer, I think it's still hilarious. Even
Oh,
yeah.
like when it came
Favorite
out,
scene.
yeah, it was so funny. I love it.
So Mando finds out that there's a Mandalorian on Tatooine. Ooh, intrigue. And it's just like, I saw like somebody do a meme of Finn. It's like, why does everyone want to go back to Tatooine?
My favorite part was how Din, even though he's like has the helmet on, you're still like, you can picture his expression being like, I was just on Tatooine. Like, I was on Tatooine. There's another Mandalorian there, and he's just like, it's fine, it's chill.
Fine.
Yeah, I feel like most of Pedro's impressions under the helmet, most of that episode, were just kind of like, really? Come on.
Oh God,
Yeah.
wouldn't it be great to like have a helmet camera? You just see his
Yeah.
expressions,
What Pedro's doing.
like Iron Man does. Like, you know, Iron Man would like
Yeah.
they would have his face because
That would be
That would be
great.
funny.
Somebody
I
tweet
would
that to
like see
Pedro.
Yeah, do it.
can just have like a side like little insert camera, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
his expression during everything. Just him crying when Baby Yoda's like, "Uppy, Daddy."
No.
I
We're all gonna be
didn't
crying. We're gonna be able
realize
to
this, but until I watched the episode like 2 hours ago. But Gore's blaster, it's the same exact sound as the Droideka blaster.
Mm.
Huh.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
I didn't realize that, and I'm like, wait,
He's at the Nerd
that
Academy.
sounds really familiar.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's see here. So we saw one of his species, Abyssins. No, Milo. The appearance of an Abyssins. Okay, never mind. Let me try this again. So Abyssin, the guy who he gets the information from, we see one of his kinds first in A New Hope in the cantina scene when we see all those aliens.
Oh,
So
the
that's
one he left
fresh.
to like for
Yeah.
dead by all those
Yeah.
creatures. Okay, yeah.
Do you remember everyone seeing all that graffiti in the trailer and they were like, "So Bean Ren."
Everyone.
I'm so sorry, Candace.
So sad. I was like, I didn't see any Wildcat paintings, so it's not Sabine. So.
Press F in the chat for Candace.
Yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
oh, Chance is here. His. Okay, so he goes back to Tatooine again, and guess who's back?
Amy Sedaris.
Yes, I'm so
Yes.
excited to
Love her.
see her again.
I love her. She's a joy.
I love how when she picked up the child, she's like, "Thank the Force. I was worried about you." Like it was so cute.
I legitimately love that expression of thank the Force, not only just because it's super cool to say, but it's also just another sort of quick view of the Force as a religion, of basically.
Yes.
Mhm.
The thing I love about Pelly is that she's like almost like a self-insert for the audience and like our love for the child. Like,
Yeah.
can I buy him? Is he for sale? I'm just kidding. I thought I would buy
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Me surrounded by Baby Yoda merchandise.
There's so much Baby Yodas. Yeah, she would totally like buy all those like things that you have, Maggie. All the blankets. All the
Oh yeah, you and
blankets.
her would get along.
The Furby Yoda.
Oh my gosh.
Maggie is her. Let's just confirm that right now. Maggie is.
Pretty much.
An interesting point on that scene where Mando lands and Amy comes out and is like, "Nope, pit droids, you can't go look." And he's like, "Yeah, they're fine."
Mhm.
Like, that's a great touch, especially to kind of expand on like what happened at the end of last season to kind of show, okay, he's okay with droids now to an extent.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
IG-11's like sacrifice and like their little heart to heart like really got to him, and it was like some character growth.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soft Din Djarin is the best.
Oh my gosh, yeah. He acts all tough in his little metal armor, but he is just a marshmallow underneath
I wrote
there.
a whole article about that for the dork side. Soft and Djarin.
That's awesome. I also just love that the little R5
Yes.
appearance
Oh,
Yes.
and the little patch
So cute.
that he has.
Oh, R5.
So
Did any of
R5
y'all?
R5
Sorry,
is
did any of y'all read the?
what?
Sorry.
Sorry, Katie, what is it?
The From a Certain Point of View Strikes Back.
Yes.
Did y'all
Yes.
read Ray Carson's story?
Oh,
I-
Oh
I
no,
was
I haven't
bawling.
read that yet.
Not
I was bawling when he came out. I was
wait. The
like,
the
go
first
read that
version
story.
of
That's
you,
one of my
right?
favorite From a Certain Point of View.
Yeah,
Oh, from A New Hope's version.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought it Strikes Back, and I was
That
like, I
one is
haven't
so
gotten that
sad.
yet.
Did
So
I say
glad
Strikes
you
Back?
looked
I'm
up
sorry.
R5.
I meant From a Certain Point of View.
So, yes, Bree probably doesn't know this. Sorry, Bree. I'm
I have
calling
no
you out.
idea.
So, in A New Hope, there's a droid that is going to be picked before R2D2, and he has a bad motivator. And really, we get this like,
Don't we all?
yeah, we get a short story that says that R2 like tells him, "Hey, I got a mission. You have to fake it and like let me go with like C-3PO." So it's like nice that he found like a you know, a good
found a home.
Yeah.
She seems pretty chill. I mean, Baby Yoda likes her, so that's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Probably a
And
tough
she
boss.
looks like Ripley from Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Love that.
Now that you mention it, I see it.
I mean, it was basically like with her, so it's like Aliens meets Tremors, basically.
Yeah.
This was this episode.
Right.
And I
Yeah,
love
that's so
that.
true.
Right.
So we see this time he doesn't leave Baby Yoda alone. Last time he just left him in the ship without a babysitter. But this time he puts him in the little like side bag thing, and I kept thinking, how much sand is in Baby Yoda's like mouth and nose?
He was having such a good time. Just
He looks so
Maybe like
happy.
to go fast.
oh my god.
Some of those shots were great when he's on the speeder going through Tatooine, through the desert, and then talking to the Tusken Raiders. That was some really good shots of Star Wars and Tatooine all together. I think really done well.
Yeah.
He was in the Gunslinger episode when they were also on Tatooine again. I think he was in the Katina when Den is looking for work or something like that. So
Did not know that.
R5 has multiple jobs, but I think I hope he finds like
okay.
full-term employment.
I feel like
With somebody
Kelly's
who
good.
cares. Somebody
Yeah,
cares about him.
exactly. So
So I mean, she was kind of getting frustrated. So I mean,
he can't
what's
he
gonna
just
happen?
he can't hold down the job. Jeez. So
It's fine.
yeah, so we see him go through Tatooine, and we see him like camp out with some Tusken Raiders, and I'm just like, Ghost Anakin is just flipping out in the background. I'm just imagining. He's like, "What are you doing?"
Being respectful, something Anakin never knew how to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
Yes, very
realizing
true.
the Tusken Raiders are people
Yeah.
and not just savages. I
Because they're the
remember-
ones that lived on Tatooine first.
Exactly. Huh.
Go
Privileged Anakin.
He's such a jerk.
I loved how they communicate with the sign language. I think to me that's such
Yeah.
a cool little like thing that they're added to humanize and do all that for the Tusken Raiders. I love that. And then you still get that kind of iconic sound that we're used to
Yes.
from
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
the original trilogy. So it's
Same here,
it's
Lauren.
good
Just
stuff. Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
my heart. Like
yeah. It's good stuff.
I saw something today that they brought in a deaf person to kind of bring in create the sign language for the Tusken Raiders. And I thought that was really a good touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Definitely.
really nice.
That's great. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I loved seeing that because it was a hearing person who knew ASL that suggested it, which I thought was really cool. Like when you have the opportunity to make change, like be
Yeah.
that person.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So I forget what's the town that he's Moss.
Moss
Moss
Pelgo.
Pelgo.
Moss.
Pelgo.
Yeah,
Okay.
Moss Pelgo.
Okay.
Which
So
I
he.
think is also Freetown mentioned
yeah. It
in
is
the
from
Aftermath novel.
Yeah, the Aftermath.
Yeah.
You think Moss
Actually,
Pelgo was Freetown?
yeah.
Yes.
He
think
was a
so.
sheriff
I think
of
so.
that town.
Why do I think I kept thinking Freetown had like walls, but maybe I'm.
I kept thinking Freetown was like a completely separate town until I realized, oh, Cobb Vanth is the
Yeah.
sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Surprised
So
they didn't mention that.
yeah.
That name.
But technically, they retcon part of Aftermath because he worked with the Tusken Raiders to save the town in the Aftermath books and had already had an established good connection with the Tusken Raiders. So they kind of retcon that. So it may not be Freetown.
Forgot about that.
Well, there's been a few years between this and Freetown, so he could have moved.
Yeah.
It's true.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Who
good
knows
point.
what happened
Well,
between that?
It went from good relations with the Tusken Raiders to
Really
bad.
Maybe something happened along the way. And he
Oh,
just-
totally.
Hey, give me a
Lost
Cobb
faith in
Vanth
the
spinoff
Tusken.
series.
Yes, please.
We all
I-
need some Timothy Oliphant Star Wars.
Oh,
Yeah, I think
absolutely.
when they were calling him monsters, that was the Anakin thing. They were like, he's a monster with they're monsters or something.
Yeah, with one of the townspeople.
So, Bree, you have been living scoop free, spoiler free.
Yes.
Did you know Timothy was in this episode?
No, I was so surprised. I was like, oh, that's Timothy Oliphant. Like, I was like,
I'm gonna be honest, I had no idea who he was.
really? Oh, he's
Oh, a beautiful
fabulous.
silver fox of a man.
Fine. He is fine.
He is fabulous.
Look at that man.
Yeah.
He's a straight
Great.
up Dilf.
Oh, that red really brings out his silver in his hair. It's so good.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, and he's such
his
a good
whole
actor
aesthetic
too.
was great. Yeah. Oh God, Timothy is a great actor.
Yeah,
his
he
whole
really
aesthetic.
is.
Yeah, the whole aesthetic they did with him. Like I love how the armor looks so big on him. So you know
Yeah.
he's not a true Mandalorian.
It looks so stupid, but I love it.
Right, but it fits his character because he's not a true Mandalorian. You
Yeah.
know, it's great. Yeah,
And he's
Yeah, like,
Timothy
so
just nails
tall
it.
and skinny, whereas
Yeah.
Morrison,
Yeah.
Yeah, just him when he
Broad.
first entered into that door frame, and I was just like, this is who he's expecting.
you know that John Mulaney quote? he's got feminine hips, like the long, skinny.
Like, ooh, hey. I was like, I.
Oh my god.
So, what did you guys think of like the friendship between the two?
I
I
loved it.
loved it.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
I
it was
need more
dope.
of it. Need more of it.
I love how Din is like this grumpy Mandalorian that seems like he should hate everyone, but he makes friends across the galaxy.
He makes friends so easily.
He's like,
Yeah.
chill, like, we're just gonna be like a meeting around the fire. We're gonna make amends. We're just gonna do this. It's gonna be great. Like,
Mhm.
He wants to be
He's a
gruff, but he's
good
really
model.
soft. He's soft and he needs friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
His walls are being broken down. But I really loved their friendship because I legit thought when they were going in the standoff in the cantina, I thought that Cobb Vanth was gonna get it until the crate dragon interrupted it. And I'm like, okay, cool. Let's see how this goes. I thought there was gonna be more conflict between them, but I was happy that their conflict got resolved pretty quickly. And then I don't know, there's just a lot there, especially with like the whole Mandalorian philosophy of you know, armor and the creed and everything.
that armor always ends up in the hands of non-Mandalorians.
Mhm.
I mean, it is pretty cool looking, so I can't blame them.
Maggie, what is your idea that might happen to the armor now that Din has it?
I love this idea. And if anyone knows artists who like draw things, I had this idea of Din taking the armor back to the armorer and having her turn it into little tiny baby Yoda armor
Oh.
and like melting down the
I need
armor.
it.
And I need that. I need him with like the little helmet on and like the little like
With a little place for his ears to go out. So
Yeah,
his ears could be like.
it's too much.
Because that's what I was thinking when he was on that speeder the entire time. I was like, dude needs like a little helmet and he needs to be buckled in. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with the safety of a puppet, but I am.
What about
Listen.
him with little like goggles? Give him like a little pair of goggles.
yeah.
I
It could
think
be
he'd okay.
Baby Yoda steampunk. I need
have
that.
a whole bunch of
There you
steampunk
go.
costuming in my garage, so I just had an idea.
Oh my gosh. One of her baby Yodas is getting a makeover, we found out.
But I really thought it was interesting where, you know, Din Djarin was about to sit down and then you see Timothy take the helmet off and you see that like huge like, oh wait, what is he doing? Why is he taking
Not-
his helmet off?
I think he
And
knew
then
when he
like,
walked
knew.
in.
I
Right?
love when
He
he
had
took
an
his
idea
helmet
for
off
sure,
and then
but
it cuts
yeah.
to Din, and it just starts zooming in, and I'm like, this dude is absolutely ticked off right now.
I
Yeah.
love
That's
how
where I need the camera again.
oh my god, they're so good at like showing emotion with nothing.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
You can tell that he was like,
Just his whole body language was just like, what is going on?
Yeah,
I
it's
can't wait till he finds out that he's like one of the few Mandalorians that doesn't take his helmet off.
Yep.
like
Oh my
really
God.
that
Like
still.
Sabine and her family and like everybody during the
Yeah,
Siege of Mandalore. I'm
Sabine,
like, I feel like you're the
Bo-Katan.
only one
Oh my
with their helmet on.
He's the first Mandalorian we've seen that actually just keeps his helmet on, I think, in
There's
all
so
of like
stuff in the old
Disney
ways.
canon.
Besides in the first season though, that little group of
Oh, yeah.
Mandalorians
He's
in
like
the
his
armor.
cohort
Jordan.
that they this and like nobody else got the memo, or everybody
Yeah.
else told
That's why I feel bad about it. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
No, Pre Vizsla took off his helmet.
yeah.
everybody
so,
took
like,
off their helmet.
It must be like that creed, that little like group of people from that first season. Like,
Yeah, I think
it
it's
must be like a
'cause I
thing,
think-
like a yeah.
Because I think with the way of the Mandalore, which is what it's called, that's like I think that's just one of their core tenets of their creed is that you don't take your helmet off, because probably just like if you take it off, then you know you'll be outed, killed, captured, whatever. You know,
Yeah.
survive. You know, they need to survive, and that's how they survive. So I'm really not surprised. I just love that this is coming from someone who sort of studies Mandalorian lore, but like I just love how their whole re-insistence on that Mandalorian is a creed and not a race, because growing up as a kid when Clone Wars came out, I was like, okay, Mandalorian's a race. And then, you know, Clone Wars had that episode of like Almec going, Boba and Jango aren't Mandalorians. And then the whole debate of like, well, actually they are, actually they aren't. You know, that whole spiel that most, if not everyone here, unfortunately had to deal with at one point in their lives. And then the Mandalorian show and Favreau and Filoni were just like, yeah, no, it's a creed, it's a philosophy.
The Spiced In like brings up like, what if like Din just like he makes his own clan? Because it sounds like
I
there's
mean, he has already.
yeah, clan of 2.
I know.
So he
Let's
could
bring in
expand.
Uncle Cobb. Uncle Cobb.
I was just,
Yes.
Maggie, get out of my head. I was
Yes.
just thinking, make Cobb a like honorary whatever, like Mandalorian.
I wanted him
Give
to
him
the armor
back.
with him.
Yeah, give him
I
back.
kind of thought he
Give him back
was
the-
going to.
Mhm.
No,
Nope. Oh my god. Okay.
I
So
think
yeah,
'cause-
let's talk about the Crate Dragon. We see the Crate Dragon.
Yeah.
And that's
In A New Hope, we see the skeletons when C-3PO passes by, and that's like 25 years
Oh,
before. What, Brie?
I didn't put that. Literally the whole time I was thinking the sandworm from Beetlejuice. That's all I was thinking.
Oh my god, Maggie, are you okay? Oh, I
That's a
texted.
great call, though, Brie. It really was. Like,
I was like, this is just a sandworm from Beetlejuice without the wacky black and white.
No, I texted Maggie and I was like, "This is the grossest episode of Mandalorian."
gross.
I because I've been watching it during my lunch break because I'm working from home and I'm like, I don't want to wake up at like 6 a.m. I want to really enjoy it, so I'm just like trying to eat a sandwich and I'm like, oh.
Well, was he throwing up on them or was he like spitting out poison?
I think
So
it
it's
was
venom.
acid.
So
it
it's
was
the
like
venom
acid for sure.
that
Yeah.
the crate dragons spit up to help pre-digest their food.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, is he just like immobilizing them? That's like
Just trying to gross
No,
them
he's
out.
straight up killing them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, can
I thought
we?
it was vomit at first. I was like,
Yeah.
why?
That's what I thought. At first. That's what I thought.
Well, it is
But it's
bottle, so
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was just like, what happened that he's suddenly puking on all of them? And then I'm like, oh, that's not what this is.
It's a defense mechanism. We all.
I love Cobb Vanth's speeder. I mean, we see that when they're gonna go.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of people are thinking it's Anakin's, like part of Anakin's. I don't know if it's like exactly Anakin's, but it's definitely like a
It's a
similar
similar
type.
model.
yeah.
yeah.
But
I
again, I mean,
texted- I texted
Anakin's was Anakin's like his own? Like, was that like a
He built it.
crafted by him?
Yeah, he
right?
did
was it
build
like
it.
Built it.
so? Like, was that like a rare one, or was that just something like pieces
The
he?
thing is, he
literally put
builds it,
together.
and then when they're leaving, they sell it, like to
Mhm.
somebody in
Mhm.
town. So it's
Mm.
not unrealistic to think that they stripped it for parts and sold it around, and Cobb Vanth just bought the
Yeah.
engine.
Yeah. Because
I freaked out when I saw that. I was like, wait a minute, like is that
Just
can't
because, like,
be?
Because Anakin made it himself, I'm inclined to think
Mhm.
it's the same engine.
That's kind of what I was thinking
But-
too. Like since he built it himself, that it has to be more of like a unique thing, right? Not just
Yeah.
like a model you buy or whatever. You know.
Yeah.
That was a really really cool touch. I loved that.
People were
Same.
saying there was stuff in the Jawa. What is it called? Their Jawa
Sandcrawler.
Sandcrawler. Thank you.
Yeah.
That there was
There
a
was
lot
so
of
much
Easter
stuff.
eggs in there, and like parts of his pod racer was in there.
That makes
Oh, I missed
sense.
all
But
that. I'll have to rewatch it.
Yeah, we have to like go through it and do like Where's Waldo of Star Wars.
frame by frame.
Star Wars
Yeah.
edition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm down for it.
because we find out that he gets the armor by trading with the Jawas.
Yeah, silicax crystals with Jawas.
Yeah, Jawas finding all the cool stuff.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I get
They're
it.
definitely into a lot of weird stuff.
They've got nothing
Works
else
out
going
for
on.
them, I guess.
Yeah,
The Jawas remind me of, I don't know if anybody played Spyro, but like the little guy that runs around with the egg, the blue guy from Spyro, they remind me of him so much because they're so like excited about things and it cracks me up.
Mhm.
Yeah, they went nuts when they saw those crystals.
Mhm.
When they opened that thing. That
Oh
was-
yeah, and
that
then
was
in
cute.
season 1, the egg.
The egg, yeah.
That was hilarious. Yeah.
That's so adorable.
So, Maggie, do you want to talk about like how the plot of this episode is like some Old West movies?
Yes. Okay. So my mom and I had like an hour-long conversation about how this episode in particular really takes on a lot of the old Western stories, especially with teaming up with the Tusken Raiders. We know they are the indigenous people of Tatooine. So you have this old Western town, you have a sheriff, this like bounty hunter rolls into town. They team up together. Then they reach out to the indigenous peoples nearby. They team up together to go after this like bigger bad. Sometimes in movies it's like the railroad coming into town, or like a logging company, or the oilers. And then you also have like the subplot of like the mining company coming into town and taking over. And it's like it is truly probably the most Western episode that The Mandalorian has done like thus far, because it's like it hits all of the hallmarks.
It is great, like how they incorporated it with like Star Wars to make it Star Wars, but like you're saying, Maggie, it feels Western. It was a cool little thing, like a cool little like trope that they followed.
You basically had like the tumbleweed when Mando rolls into town, and you had the windmill that was like spinning.
Yeah.
Like it was very much like old Western town that got taken over by a mining company and kind of drained for all of its worth, basically. Which I love that. I love anything that kind of evokes older films, and like then you also have Tremors, which with Kevin Bacon.
Right.
Yeah, I think going off of that, Maggie, the one thing I loved probably the most in this episode was the whole cowboys versus Indians trope being applied, along with the concept of the enemy of my enemy is my friend, with the Tuscans and the townspeople settle in their differences aside and teaming up to take down the Krayt Dragon.
Yeah.
That was just so cool to me.
Last night on the Star Wars Friends, we also got into the conversation about how the bartender was the only alien in the town. And so it's that kind of idea of like the token, like non-humanoid, like bartender in town that everyone's accepted. But then as soon as they're told they have to work with the Tusken Raiders, which are these outsiders, they're all like, oh, they're monsters. Oh, they're savages. Oh, and it's that whole like, again, the Western, like you'll typically see like a Native American character playing that like bartender role that's like been brought into the town. So it was really cool to see like that kind of essence.
The bartender is the one that calls them monsters. Which
Yeah,
I thought was like,
It was such like an interesting like play on that.
Do you notice they called him Weequay, which is like the species he is?
Yeah.
And I was like, that'd be like us to be like, hey, human.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not nice.
And then, like, I want to talk to like Favreau about like all of the reasoning that he had behind so many of the things. And like, are we reading too much into it, or is it like an intentional like commentary?
It is.
I think it's intentional.
It's
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey.
Alberto.
Sorry, we're not talking about Maul.
Oh no. Yeah, so I sent Arzu the picture of the speeder because I was like, could this be like thought as something dirty?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Because I was like, have I been alone for too long?
Two things can be true, Candace.
both
We've all
things.
been alone for too long.
Not to get
But
too
also-
thirsty.
To get too thirsty.
But we can talk about when Mando's like take it off
Oh yeah.
with the armor, and I was like,
Listening, here for it.
I am looking respectfully. I
Well
wasn't.
said,
I just
Connor,
have to
well
like, entertain that meme.
Yeah, so Alberto said Maul was jealous of his speeder on Twitter, and I was like, oh no. Gosh. Yeah, we gave Alberto a hard time because he was the only guy in our stream last time.
So Connor has that honor tonight. Now,
Token, the token,
Sweet. Cool.
token guy. You know how it is.
this.
I'll
So,
survive.
okay. So, Maggie asked me to take a cap of
I'm like,
the
what's it?
space puppy.
Oh,
Massive.
yay.
I want him.
Yeah.
Honestly, like so many prequel trilogy like characters and illusions, and this is another one of them, and I love it.
Yeah.
Aw.
And again, it just shows like what a big softie Din is.
He's
Like-
a dog man.
He's
Yeah,
like dogs like him.
It's that meme of just of them listing off like other like huge dog species, and then people are like puppy.
It's a
Basically that.
My
He's a
subtitle is
dad.
Space Puppies.
Yes. A single dad and a dog lover. That's a swipe right on Tinder. I'm just saying.
I mean, and he's played by and it's Pedro.
Pedro, and it's Pedro
Yeah.
underneath there. So I was like, Baby Yoda, I think he needs a puppy just to like protect him and like when he gets like scared when he's alone. And I'm totally buying the remote control one so he can hang out with my dog.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Didn't that little creature when they were around the fire like kind of side-eye little Baby Yoda like
Yeah.
snapped a little bit? Like I was
Yeah.
like, oh boy.
Baby Yoda was
I
like,
got a little
I didn't
worried there
notice
for a
that.
second.
Was that the scene that Pedro talked about in the interview that he improv'd, like stay away from the fire, like to the puppet, and he said the puppeteer like had the child react to it, and he said he didn't think it was he said he didn't think it made a cut or something, and I was like, oh,
I don't remember seeing it.
I think it was
That
like
would
there
probably
wasn't like any dialogue with it, right?
No, but he said in an interview, I think it was, I can't remember which interview it was, that he had done an improv, just like improv the moment and told the puppet to like not get too close to the fire just because his like dad instincts kicked in and he was like, stay away from the fire. Wait, this is a puppet. Like if he hacked it,
We were worried about him.
had the child like
yeah.
look up at him and like, but I guess they didn't use that take. And I was like,
Oh, they should
Well, how
have.
cute was he
Give
in
it to us.
between his legs sitting around the fire?
Because I want
just
to,
by his
see the
dad. That was
behind the
so
scenes
cute.
of Werner Herzog talking to the puppet of Baby
God.
Yoda as if he's a real person. I need to see that. I would
Criterion
like to see
Edition win.
that. Just give me a Werner Herzog alternate universe where he takes care of the baby.
I just want Warner like the thing of like him calling the filmmakers directors cowards for doing CGI. For like
I love
be like don't be cowards. Like, I can't do a German accent. Brie.
Don't be the cowards. No, I haven't practiced my German.
I put you on the spot. I put you on the spot. I'm sorry.
German. It's harsh, you know.
You'll get
What
it.
is that? I
Persistence
hate
reveals the
CGI, so
path.
maybe I should just do it in say German accent. Don't do that.
Oh yeah, a lot of prequel love in this episode. And oh yeah, the pit droids acting
Yes.
silly. As a kid, I thought those guys were the most hilarious things ever.
Yeah.
They're also
Yeah.
like they're in Star Tours at the beginning too.
Yes, that's right.
Are they really? Wow, I don't
Yeah.
remember that.
Aren't they handling the luggage?
Yeah, they're handling the luggage. They're doing all the pre-flight stuff, and like one of them sucks into the thing, and they're like they get into fights.
Yes.
As someone who's like been on Star Tours like 500 times, I go at least like 5 times each day. I go. But yeah, Tuscan dogs. The dogs are so cute.
I think just the Tuscan, like the humanization of the Tuscan Raiders, I think was probably my favorite aspect of that entire episode. Like
Yeah.
getting a look into their culture, how they operate, just who they are as people
Okay,
was
so
just so cool to me.
yeah, so Bree really harps at Anakin for doing some murders.
Oh yeah,
Well, I
Rightfully
mean,
so.
I know, rightfully so.
right, thank
rightfully
you.
He's such a-
I
he's-
mean,
like now that we know that, now that
Yes!
Tuscans have been humanized,
God.
Anakin's more of a
Lord.
jerk than he initially was, which
He's
was a
so
high
terrible.
bar to
I
clear.
mean, he killed all these kids.
He killed
Yeah.
the kids. He
My
killed the
favorite-
Tuscan kids.
My favorite meme is when there's just like
Oh no.
okay, do you, like the SpongeBob thing, like, and it's Anakin the pirate costume. He goes, "Are you ready, kids?"
Oh no.
Oh god.
That reminds me of one where it's just a black. It's like all the kids. It's like all the kids from SpongeBob. They're like happy and everything, and then the very next scene is them just like sad, like disappointed because I can't remember the context of the episode. But what this person did with this meme, they put a black cloak in the background of it, and the kids were in the foreground, and then the very next thing was the saber going out.
Oh my god.
No.
Maggie, how are you in the chat now?
Have you guys played Among Us?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Well, yeah,
Okay.
we played together.
I've been
I know
super
we
sus
did.
all the time.
But
always
there's this one meme that someone did of like just all the dead bodies, and they're like, Anakin's looking kind of sus.
Oh my
Star Wars Among Us is great.
So that's
Developers to do something for me.
Oh
So-
my gosh.
What did you guys think of the scene where they not go? Let's try to go back on topic. What do you guys think of the scene where they were trying to destroy the crate dragon?
It was
Or they
dope.
did destroy it. I mean, they did do
It's
that.
fantastic. Jonah and the whale.
Mm.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's
It's
another
interesting,
good
I like
one,
how-
Maggie.
To the like how they got to that point too, when Din basically, told Cobb that like, yeah, I basically told them that your village is going to help them, like without
Oh yeah,
even
I love
talking
that.
to
I
him.
volunteered
And
your
he was
village,
just like,
and
yep, I
Timothy
volunteered him, so
Oliphant's
don't
just
worry
like,
about it. Mm-hmm.
well, he did knock their water, over, which is
Yeah, true. That's true.
rude.
And I like that whole little like meeting they had with Mando and Cobb talking to the villagers and saying, "Hey, listen, we have to work together."
Yeah.
Again, so Star Wars, so like just
Mhm.
a great theme within within this galaxy all the time. So and then
Exactly.
when that one Tusken dropped the explosive and the villager got upset, and then Cobb kind of got in his face. Again, cool things like just little things like that to me was again we're humanizing the Tusken Raiders and we're making it more of a a coming together moment for sure. So
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
loved it. I loved that until we got to when you say Candace, when we got to the part of the crate dragon, that was a lot of funny crazy stuff that was going on in that whole scene.
It was
Maybe it's
interesting.
because sorry to cut
Oh,
you
no,
off
go ahead.
real quick, Candace, but maybe it's because of just how just loving I've become of Tusken Raiders as of late. But there's the Tusken shout, like the trademark Tusken shout that everyone knows. For
Yeah.
some reason, it's aesthetically pleasing to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how. I don't know why. It just
Because it's
is.
nostalgic and familiar.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably that.
That
That's a great
sound
point.
too.
Yeah, it's
And
probably
now
The
that
New
they're
Hope.
humanized too, and you don't associate it with like monsters,
Yeah,
Mhm.
like
now
oh,
it's
that's
just
adorable.
the glow of nostalgia.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So
True.
Din kind of sacrifices himself, and he's like, "Look after the child, Din. That is your son."
I was like,
That's,
Yeah.
that's the one thing I didn't
I
get.
know.
I'm like, you take off, like, take care of him. I'm like, but you have a mission. You said twice you've been quested to take this kid to his people, and all of a sudden you're leaving him with Cobb Vanth. Like, take care of him. Cobb Vanth doesn't know any of this, so
Cobb
he
Vanth,
leaves
I
him.
didn't know what it
None.
is.
What is he supposed to
He's here
do?
forever.
I feel
What
like for me, I
happened
feel
then?
like Din was just that confident that like, I just watch him for a minute, I'll be back.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
I got it.
that's just me. I mean, that's just how I felt. That like he knew what he was gonna do. He felt that he was gonna succeed. Big risk for sure. I think like we're
Yeah.
all saying. Yeah,
I
He's
don't-
a
100%.
dad now. He needs to be responsible.
Oh,
he was
100%.
like
Yeah,
so
right.
dramatic too, like because he didn't just like
Mhm.
make the crate dragon eat the bantha. He had to like go inside, shock it from the inside, feed it the bantha,
Fly out.
fly up in the air in the rocket, and then it's like, dude, just come on. Haven't you seen Tremors? It's not that hard.
I love the part where he got Cobb to go. He hit him with his little gun. And got,
A great
Very
alert
similar,
sound.
I know,
He hit
everybody-
it in
yeah,
the
very
same
similar
part
to
that
the
Han
Return of the
did
Jedi.
In Return
Yeah,
of the
Return of the
Jedi.
Jedi.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
how Boba Fett got killed.
Yep. He's gonna add. Din's gonna have to add another signet because of the crate dragon. So
Mm, that'd be cool. That'd be really
I
cool.
wonder if that's even possible.
And did you guys just like it was like so gross? Like at the end, he takes the armor and he also just has this big slab of meat.
Oh my, yeah.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, all this
He's
stuff,
not
all
really
the
baby
slime
meat.
on him. So
He needs to
gross.
feed the baby.
And Baby Yoda's like, ooh. He's like, look at all the chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
Like, take it home, cut it up, like freeze pack it, and just that way he
Gotta
can just
feed
feed
his
the baby
baby.
on the go.
Yeah, he's learning to trust others. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that to bite him in the butt.
Tell
though.
him anything. He's just like, okay, bye.
Very true, Maggie, because it will. We just don't know when,
Season
but
finale.
it will.
It's gonna
Yeah,
bite him
there
in
you
the butt.
go. Yeah, that could be very true. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
becoming too trusting now. I've always thought he was too trusting with Baby Yoda.
Also, he tells all of his business to everyone always. I'm like, dude, you don't have to tell everyone your life story. Like, I have been quested I'm like, dude, it's like a
Just tell me you're on
non-character.
a mission, and that's good. That's enough.
He's socially awkward. You can't blame him.
I mean, he
like,
was.
He's like,
He
raised
wears a
by
helmet all the
Death
time.
Watch,
This is
Yeah,
my quest.
he's right.
But it reminds me of a video game. Like, you have that one character in your party that like always repeats like the same dialogue. Like, this is my quest.
Like, I know. Skip,
Arrogant son.
skip.
I mean, he was raised by the IRA of Mandalorian.
This is
so
true.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
Probably didn't have the best social skills.
no, not at all.
Yeah.
But then again, he could have probably been raised by Bo-Katan, who, for all intents and purposes, to me at least, she seemed to have some semblance of social skills.
Nah, kind of. A lot of it ended up like fist fights and stuff like that.
Yeah, true.
I talk with my hands. Okay, so the last scene, which is really exciting, we see the speeder go off with Baby Yoda and Den, and then we see a mysterious figure, and they turn, and Brie, who was that figure?
I don't know. Okay, so it was a bad guy, clearly. I feel a lot of pressure right now, guys. You just are very staring intently at me. Okay. One question. Where again is the timeline? Are we?
This is 5 years after Return of the Jedi.
Can I give you a hint?
Yes, please.
Okay, it's
They
a
need a hint.
character that we thought was dead.
From the original trilogy.
That
And
could've
there was
probably
a
been
creature
Yeah.
mentioned in this episode that may have killed them.
Also, they're on Tatooine.
And somebody may have been wearing their armor.
And giving it back to Din.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Mandalorian guy.
And his name's been mentioned in this episode.
That's not the Mandalorian guy. The Mandalorian was on the speeder.
They're so close.
Bree,
We're almost there.
his
Can I
name
give
has been
another hint
mentioned
or no?
already.
Why am
The
I
name-
dumb?
I like to
Come
come
up
up
at some point.
Huh?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Their
saying.
name
They
has
were in
come
the
up.
They were in the prequel, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi.
a lot of people.
They
really-
also
And his
were in
name's
Clone
been
Wars.
said already in this
Yeah,
episode.
like we have
In that episode?
we have
Oh,
said
no.
no,
In
not in
this
that
episode.
episode. We have said his name.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
said his
said
name
that.
in this episode. We talked about him briefly.
I feel so bad.
Were you not paying attention, Brie?
I thought I was, but now I'm questioning myself.
This is kind of so
I think this
We're helping. We're helping Bree. We're
We're
an
helping.
educator. Yes.
It's a memory
We're-
exercise.
Okay, because I was
Yes,
gonna
memory
like, when
exercise.
Candace
There
was
you go.
like, she was texting me and she's like, "Do you know who that was?" I was like, "No, I was gonna ask you." And then she's like, "Okay, well, yes." I was like, "Yeah," I was like, "It's a fucking Palpatine!" Like, who is
Don't
it?
curse at our live. Don't curse at our live shows, Brie. We get kicked off of YouTube right when we started. We just started on YouTube, Brie.
Okay, Bree.
I have a bad mouth. Okay.
So the conversation where the character's name was mentioned was when we were talking about Din hitting Cobb in the back of the jetpack, and we said that's the same as when Han hit this character.
Oh. Okay,
You
I
got
know. I can see it in my head.
Say his name. It's a guy.
The
Bree, you've got this.
We only see him without his helmet as a kid.
I'm sitting.
Boba Fett.
Yes!
Yep, perfect.
So this is the first time we've seen him play
Oh.
Boba Fett. We've never seen him without his helmet as an adult.
Yes.
I thought he was ethnic.
He is.
That's Tamora Morrison.
Yeah.
He is
Yeah.
Maori.
He's the one that played Django Fat. In,
Yes, I was
yeah.
like, I just thought he was a bald white man. Is that bad?
I mean, you're not wrong.
You're not
So
gonna
in the
see him
original-
really.
so
So
I mean, he doesn't have eyebrows. Which, like, what
That
happened?
was
it was like
weird.
half
I
a
caught that
second.
too, Maggie. That threw me off, and I was like,
So
Where
my
is his
first thought,
eyebrow?
and just because if anybody listens to the Star Wars Friends show, you know, like 4 of our hosts absolutely are obsessed with Boba Fett.
mhm.
Myself and another one of us are not that obsessed. I don't like Boba Fett at all, actually. Overhyped. Anyways,
Same.
I was like, what if it's actually a clone?
Kind
That's
of
the
like
thing.
Palpatine?
What if it's
Well-
Wrecker?
What if it's Rex?
No, because
Wait,
then
no. Palpatine
Hmm.
was just on IVs.
Well,
Like Ray.
Bree,
So,
if
in
they,
Star
if they
Wars-
make him a Palpatine, I don't even know what I'm going to do with myself.
Yeah, I would.
I mean,
So-
I hated it. I just assumed everything is going to lead back to Palpatine now.
to say.
I think the only reason I thought it's not a clone is because don't the clones age faster? So I thought maybe they would look older.
I
Yes.
see.
And they're
Well, that's
voiced
why
by
his
D.
eyebrows are
Bradley
gone.
Baker,
And-
who I'm guessing he would totally do a live action role.
Tamara Moore, he's 60 though. The actor is 59. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boba would be in his 40s, but as we have learned from Obi-Wan, when you on Tatooine, you age fast.
Yep.
Well, and
Also, like being
sorry,
eaten by a Sarlacc's probably gonna not help that.
Yeah,
They-
process.
slowly digested over 1,000 years. That something's gonna.
They digested 20 years off his life.
As a kid, I thought that meant like it kept you alive for 1,000 years. And somehow, and I was like, that is traumatic. I'm like, Jabba, straight.
That's what I kind of
I
still
thought the
think.
same
'Cause,
thing
like
too.
slowly digest.
Yeah. But then I was like, as an adult, I'm like, no, that's going to kill you because it's like going to eat you and you're not going to have any oxygen. It's like, huh.
Katie, did you have an idea?
well, I just wanted to, so in Star Wars Legends, Boba Fett actually survives the Sarlacc pit, and he trains Jaina Solo and everything. So we know Disney's kind of like pulled in kind of the stranger elements of
Yes.
Legends. So and to me, it kind of makes sense because he could have just gotten out of the Sarlacc pit. Like we don't know when the Krayt Dragon necessarily ate the Sarlacc pit. So he could have been hunting Cobb Vanth because he knew he had his armor and he wanted his armor back.
Yeah.
And
Very true.
so then you kind of see him overlooking the Mandalorian. And it's like, okay, now I have somewhere else to be. So
Look at the beautiful face. Look at him.
He's seen some
God,
stuff.
those no eyebrows. That just throws me.
I
off.
didn't think we were
yeah.
going to see him this early, but
Yeah.
They're very light.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not to throw out like another random like sci-fi reference, but he reminded me of Teal'c from Stargate SG-1. I was like,
Oh.
it was the emblem in his forehead, and he just had something about like the shape and like figure that he kept reminded me of Teal'c like tremendously, which is like a throwback.
I understood that reference.
Epic proportions.
Here's my whole thing with Boba Fett, and I'm maybe in the minority too, where I'm not a huge fan of him. I don't hate him. He's just not one of my favorite characters, and that's fine. Like I'm very excited to see what they're gonna do with him now, and see how they make his story more organic and everything like that. But here's my thing. So like if we know he's survived the Sarlacc pit, however he did, and I would assume that if he knew his armor was taken, he would want it back pretty quickly. It seems like he's cool just kind of hanging out in the shadows and just kind of watching people. So I'm like, I guess my thing is like, he survived. He could have got off Tatooine. Why is he kind of still on Tatooine? Is it just because he's just staying there? He doesn't want to he just wants to kind of live this kind of simple life. Maybe become a moisture farmer. I don't know.
Probably.
But like where,
Yeah.
like why didn't he get off planet? I mean, it's Tatooine. Why stay on Tatooine? I guess this
Well,
is my thing. So
Remember, like the New Republic has taken over. They are capturing criminals. We see the ship that the Mandalorian they infiltrate. It's a different law and justice. So I'm wondering, like, is there a place for a bounty hunter really, or a bounty hunter like that?
yeah,
He's
that's a good
probably
point.
got nothing. Like it's only been 5 years, so whenever he crawled out of the Sarlacc pit or whatever, maybe he doesn't even know who has his armor. So he doesn't have his armor. He's got nothing.
That's
So he's
true.
just kind of working on Tatooine, and then hearing news of a Mandalorian on Tatooine catches his attention, and that's when he goes looking, and then he sees Din, and he's like, "Holy, he's got my armor."
Yeah.
That's mine.
That's a really good
Yeah.
point. That's really
It's
good
a real
point.
Mandalorian.
I just can't wait for the possible philosophical conversations that Din and Boba will have about Mandalorians, because Din's gonna be like, "You're not a real Mandalorian," and Boba's gonna be like, "Yes, I am," and then they're just gonna have this like whole argument, probably get in a fist fight or two, probably
Gonna be
shoot each
intense.
other.
Baby Yoda probably choke him a little bit. Be like,
Probably.
not my daddy. Not my daddy.
He'll try to use the flamethrower, and Baby Yoda will just push it
Be like-
back like he did the flame trooper.
And then pass
Um,
out.
Yep.
Oh,
and then
okay.
pass out. So
Well, speaking of Baby Yoda, I think it's time for some. Well, I'll just play the intro.
A diva exclusive.
It's an exclusive.
This is the greatest bit I've ever seen. I love this.
I don't know why you guys are laughing. This is very serious. Baby Yoda is trying to sue Maggie currently.
It is. It has been a shocking turn of events in the recent days. As you all know, I broke the news of naked Baby Yoda.
Oh,
I exposed him in such a real and and honestly, I'm not sorry I did this. I think that the world really needs to know, we have a flasher on our hands.
Look how proud he is. Look at him looking up like that.
the man is confident. I'll
tears.
give
It is
him that.
unrepentant flashing. And I felt like the world needed to know what our beloved Baby Yoda is getting up to in his free time. And yeah, I was served papers this week because of it.
Yeah.
Thankfully, someone's very lovely lawyer helped.
Fancy lawyer guy.
It's been a very trying situation. But I think that a certain lawyer named Bucky will be saving my bacon. Or
Bucky J. Barks, Esquire.
Does the date say who knows?
What?
The date on the form, does it say who knows?
I mean, does anyone know? I mean, I agree with that. It's very profound.
I'm pretty sure he did this in Grant.
Oh god.
None of us know the date, so I guess I understand that.
Yeah.
What is time now? So
Yeah. I mean,
that tracks.
he has no idea
That
what year.
tracks. That tracks.
So so Bucky has been trying to talk to him. Again, they can only decide that chicky nuggies are good in their tummy.
Okay, true.
They're
But,
finding common ground. This is
Yeah,
good
they're
news for
finding common
Maggie.
ground. And Bucky's like, I'm naked all the time. What's the big deal? There's thousands of photos of me on the internet naked.
But it's been trying. you
Yeah.
know.
Another.
Well, hopefully it gets resolved soon.
I think so. I think it's gonna be
Agreed.
thrown out. What?
Baby Yoda hat.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Yeah, he
He's
hacked
taking
us
over.
before.
oh
So
no.
We gotta be careful.
The
So-
Force does work in mysterious ways. You might be compromised, Maggie.
Change all
I
your
mean, you guys are
passwords
doing
now.
really groundbreaking reporting here. Because,
I know.
I mean,
It's
think about it. This first
yeah.
episode, he didn't. I mean, he looked adorable. He didn't do much, so he probably is very upset at what's going on. So I mean, this
honestly, that's what
Oh,
I've
yeah.
heard.
it all tracks.
He's very upset. He had very little lines, and he was hiding most of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
He says he's in training for a hide and seek championship, but you know,
Sounds like an excuse.
Yeah,
it is. It
really does
clearly
sound like an
excuse.
it's a front for something.
I mean, they didn't even give him goggles or a helmet when he's riding on the speeders. I get it. I mean,
Yeah, I
I
mean,
get it.
it makes sense to me.
His adorableness is just to throw us off. Like
Yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi said, your eyes can deceive you. Don't trust them.
Another thing that happened last week, Maggie, do you want to talk about?
Yes. So this wonderful bakery out in California decided to create the Mandalorian and the child out of bread. They also created IG-11 out of kitchen utensils. And Baby Yoda is furious. He thought that he was going to get the dough, the actual dough. He thought he was getting paid for this. But instead, they just created a Baby Yoda out of bread. And he, of course, is furious because he was thinking it was going to be so much bigger. But
Yeah.
we love that work.
It's amazing work. And yeah, he only gets paid in frogs and chicken nuggets, so I understand he wants a little bit more money, you know.
Make that bread.
Yeah, he literally wants to make that bread.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, he's a real pain.
I mean, I feel like he should be in SAG right now. So,
Right?
I mean, that's
He
some
hasn't
union
had
laws
many
that we're
lines though,
breaking.
but he
Really
hasn't
good
had
point.
lines.
Yeah, but he's still a main. He's still a main
still
part.
his own street.
He makes little coo sounds. I mean, doesn't that count?
What is going on?
He is taking over, guys.
Again!
This is a conspiracy.
Next
It's Maggie's
he's going
turn.
to take
Crazy.
over all our social media.
I know. I'm sorry we brought you guys all into this, but
No.
We're off the
He's-
radar now.
We're all compromised at this point.
That-
Yeah.
the thing is, Baby Yoda, you exposed yourself.
Yeah,
first.
He did. That's his
He
fault.
literally
Quite literally.
opened that robe up. Yep. Oh, see,
I mean,
he's gonna
yeah.
start suing again. He's already got all the papers. He just needs to fill out another one, and that's his lawyer. He says, but I'm kind of think it might be him. I'm not sure.
Green's looking kind of sus, guys.
Yeah,
Oh, he's looking
Looking
super
real
sus.
sus.
I
Looking
think I
real
saw
sus.
him vent in electrical.
Oh
Well,
god.
now that we know that Baby Yoda is like an expert hacker, I think we definitely all need to be afraid.
Yeah, everyone changed their
Two-factor
passwords. Something
authorization.
like yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
So
Change
he's
your
like a
password.
Change it to
slicer now.
Baby
So
Yoda
he's,
6.
Hand for
So
security.
yeah. So he can use the force. He's a slicer. He's quite talented.
It's a jack
mean-
of all trades.
Yeah.
What was he doing for 50 years? He had to have some hobbies.
Yeah.
No, I
Slicing
think he was
apparently
planning
was
this
necessary.
all
Yeah.
throughout his 50 years. He was just planning all of this.
Yeah.
And when
So-
the time came, he struck.
So overall, episode,
good.
do you think this is a good way to start the season?
It was so good.
It was pretty dope.
Yeah, I liked it.
I thought it was good,
Oh.
but I was expecting something different. Like I felt like they needed to come out with a different feel. Like I liked the episode. I gave it an 8 out of 10. But I just think they needed to do something different rather than reaching immediately for the nostalgia.
Yeah.
Mm.
Tattoo, it's just like,
But at the
Tatooine.
same time, it's nice to get it out of the way so then the
True.
new stuff can carve out its own path later on.
Yeah, and that's fair.
and it makes sense that they go to Tatooine since that's where Boba was last and that's where he
Yeah.
died.
So that's why.
I guess just kind of see how it plays in the overall season and
Yeah.
kind of see where it goes from here.
Yeah.
Do we think that we're staying on Tatooine in the beginning of the next episode, or do you think
No,
we're
I
going?
think
Well, I
they're
think
already going to be
they've already
gone.
been on another
Yeah,
planet.
we're gone.
I
think we'll
wouldn't
go back
mind
to
it,
Navarro.
but he's probably going to be gone.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Yeah,
But I
I
don't
wouldn't
know.
mind them staying there maybe for half the episode, and that's maybe him and Boba have a quick conversation or something. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think you guys are right. I think we're probably going to be off on another planet at this point by the beginning of the next episode.
Jared.
Of course, Jared, I love you, dude.
Yeah, Jen.
Yeah, they actually inside TNAP lore, there was we did a lightsaber rankings episode, and pretty much every ranking duel, I just said, "Oh, that's either really dope, incredibly dope, pretty dope, or just like insert word here, dope." And they made a ranking system of that where, like, if I say either pretty dope, fairly dope, or whatever, it's like, oh, it's a 6 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. So
I love it.
Oh, guys, I think we need to be worried.
yeah,
Ooh, all right.
especially Maggie.
Here's the thing.
No, that's
I
a speech
have
pattern.
green hair.
Yeah.
Aren't I like related to Baby Yoda at this point?
You are.
That's a good point, Brie. It's a really good point.
I don't know. I've been putting my green tea mask on and stuff like that, thinking maybe that might help.
I thought I would appease him.
I know. Look,
surround myself with him.
it's not enough, Maggie.
You have
Not
to build a
enough, not
shrine
enough.
with chicken nuggets and
Blood
Chucky milk.
sacrifice.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah,
surround it with
yeah.
chocolate milk and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and just
Chocolate
You're gonna
milk
have to
and
step it
chicken
up,
nuggets.
Maggie. Yeah, you're gonna have to step it
Exactly.
up.
Okay, so can each of you, let's start with Arzu, how can people find you online?
Okay, so you can find me writing for the Geeky Waffle. You can find me on my own site, rzud2.com. And you can find me hosting Beyond the Blasters Live Wednesdays at 10 p.m. on Beyond the Blasters Network.
Lauren?
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, you can follow the Galactic Podcast on Spotify, Google Play, Apple Pod, Podbean, pretty much everywhere where podcasts are available. And then you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at LowRowNose.
Katie?
So you can find me on Twitter at my username, but then also my podcast, Star Wars Alliance, will go live for our Mandalorian discussion every Sunday on the Geekverse YouTube channel. So that'll be 10 a.m. tomorrow. And then all my writing and everything is at slicerscribbles.com, and that has all the other ways you can contact me as well. So
Awesome. Connor?
So you can find me on my Twitter, which is posted below me. You can find me on Instagram at ConmanJFO. And you can find me on Facebook, admin in the Alliance of Star Wars Fanatics, a Star Wars Facebook group where our entire mission is to discuss Star Wars positively, respectfully, and constructively. Something you don't really see in online and offline Star Wars fandom most of the time because we are a freaking mess. And you can also find me talking about Star Wars and just other things on the Nerd Academy podcast, a podcast where we have 3 shows. We have the main show, the Nerd Academy podcast, which talks about everything in nerdom. We have Campus Life, which is where we just riff on our lives. And we have the Star Wars segment, Knights of the Nerd Republic, where naturally we talk about everything Star Wars. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else their podcasts are. I don't remember. The guys have said the sites a million times, and I haven't committed them to memory.
So Maggie we all are still collecting money on our GoFundMe, trans rights or human rights. This is the way. Mm-hmm. So our goal, Maggie, right, is $15,000 by the end of the season.
Yes. So the fundraiser ends December 20th, which was 2 days after the episode airs.
Yes. So the link is in the summary for this video. And Maggie, tell people how to find you on Star Wars related things. If Baby Yoda hasn't destroyed all your accounts.
I'm getting worried. So you can find me on Twitter at Maggie of the Town. I write for Your Money Geek, where I'm the managing editor of entertainment. I just started writing for Dorkside, which is a fan side media site for Star Wars related things. I already have 2 articles out. Super excited about that. You can also find me on the Star Wars Friends podcast. And I recently launched my very own YouTube channel. And you can find me at Let's Talk About Star Wars, where I try to be a positive force in the hellscape, which is Star Wars YouTube fandom. Yes, that apparently the child has hacked. So gonna have to go figure that one out.
Yeah. And Brie, can you tell people how to find us, the Geeky Waffle?
Of course. So Candace and I are pretty attached at the hip. And Candace runs our Twitter, geeky_waffle. And you can find us at thegeekywaffle.com. It houses all of our podcast episodes and all of our writers' wonderful writings.
That's you, Arzu. And also Maggie guests for us.
Yes, it's right. And then individually, it's my name, which is crazy long at the bottom. And I'm on Twitter there and Instagram.
Yeah, I'm Candace is a geek on Twitter, but I mostly just tweet at geeky_waffle. You know it's me because I post all the photos of my dog.
No, and plus, you know more about Star Wars than...
Yeah, obviously.
Hey, we learned today, didn't we, Brie? We learned something today. So look at us.
You know
Look
what?
at us.
Exactly. We are growing as people and
as Star Wars fans.
Yes.
Exactly.
And this is the way.
This is
Okay.
is
Do
the
any
way.
of you guys want to say anything to Baby Yoda just to hope that you don't get hacked?
I'll dye my hair greener.
I've trusted
can
only
get
in the
all
Force
of
for
the
a
chicken
while.
nuggets.
So
All the chicky nuggies. Arzu says all the chicky nuggies.
I can
Oh,
send
we'll
them to you.
get all the chalky milk.
Oh no! Oh no!
oh man,
This is getting real, people.
He's been
It's getting
taking photos of
real.
himself eating waffles.
Oh,
And it's like a threat, Brie. Like, it's like a real threat.
okay.
That's really
Well, how about I make some Baby Yoda brunch?
That's not going to appease him, Brie.
That's like the
Oh, geez,
opposite.
I mean, like green tea waffles, chalky milk, some chicken nuggies, maple syrup.
Ugh, okay.
I'll be
Well,
my next dog, Yolito.
oh my
There
god!
you go.
Maggie, he's behind you! He's behind you!
oh,
It's terrifying.
Okay, well, also, yes. If you want to keep up with our celebrity feud with Baby Yoda, Kiki_waffle, we'll keep you updated if we can. If you don't hear from us,
We've been hacked.
we've been hacked. We're going to try, well, definitely next Saturday, 8 p.m., we will be doing Chapter 10. fingers crossed about Baby Yoda. Thank you all for joining us.
Yes, this is awesome.
This
Yes,
was cool.
Yeah,
thank you.
thank
Yeah,
you.
our first
Yeah,
Mando Night
thank you.
Live. Thank you all.
Tough Good Readers.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. Have a good night, and may the force be with you.